At Highland, we're all about celebrating little wins and little ways to innovate digital processes. There's no customer pain point too small for us to help with. Maybe that's why more than half of the Fortune 100 looks to Highland to connect their content and data, improve processes, and turn little efficiencies into big wins for their customers and clients. Highland, intelligent content solutions for innovators everywhere at highland.com.
Hold My Drink with Charleen and Ellie, a GoLoud original.
If I ask you to promote something tomorrow paid and you just throw it into the feed or into your stories there, most likely your followers are going to see through that.
Yeah.
Who was the hardest to work with?
Me.
Creators. As in creators.
Yeah.
Don't say me, I'll cry now. I want to get really nosy.
Yeah.
Money.
Everyone always wants to know the money.
Yeah, love that word.
Welcome to Home or Drink with Charleen and Ellie. Our podcast is like a group chat between your best friends, the girls' bathroom on a night out, where you spill all the gossip on relationship dilemmas and life. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. And if you're a new listener, welcome. Home or Drink is out for you every Wednesday. We also have bonus episodes every Monday, so you can listen to more of us now on the GoLoud app or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have little bonus episodes.
We do.
I thought they were going to be shorter, but they're quite long. They're like they're like half an episode.
They're half an episode worth, so
Yeah.
if one full episode isn't enough for you,
Yeah.
you can lash on an L bonus episode.
On this week's episode, we spoke to our managers.
Our lovely manager.
We love them. Icon Management.
Yes.
We asked them all the questions that people want to know about influencing.
All the stuff I wanted to know too. Money. Who the hell makes up
Money.
prices for influencers?
Rates. We talked about, how they pick people. Do people reach out?
Is influencing like a natural kind of a job, or is it something?
Yeah.
you have to work?
What makes an influencer?
Yeah.
And kind of how they started with us, how they found us, where
Yeah.
we came from, and all that good stuff.
All the nitty gritty.
Yeah. So if you want to hear more of that, and also our Wait Till I Tell You, Secrets in the Stalls, and Word Association, our new
Are
segment.
brilliant.
And Silver
word
Skin.
association.
Then keep on listening.
I listened to us last week actually.
Did you?
Yeah, but I don't remember why. Sometimes at the beginning I used to always listen. Now there has to be a specific reason why I listen back.
Maybe you were like contemplating something we said.
Don't know what it was. Can't remember what it was, but I listened.
You did.
I put it on
Have you
the car.
listened to any other podcasts lately?
I do.
Oh.
And I'm getting so obsessed with it now that it's flown into my TikTok. Do you ever do that?
Oh.
Because I watch it on YouTube.
Yeah. Your phone is listening
Yeah,
to what
and
you're
now I
doing.
put it on in the car. I have it on the telly. I listen to it on
Who
TikTok.
is it?
The Basement Yard.
Uh-huh.
They're two American fellas, but they are just like ruthless. Well, they're not actually that ruthless, but some of the shit they say, I'm like, how?
If that was us, we'd be
Yeah.
cancelled.
Yeah. But they're two fellas from New York,
Oh my god.
Frank and Joe, or Joey, I think their name is.
And were they known before the podcast? Are they
I
big?
don't know. I came across them on TikTok one day, like a little funny clip of them on TikTok.
The
Basement Yard.
And what do they talk about?
Anything. Like they don't have. I don't think they have like topics and stuff.
The basement yard.
I don't even know if are they big. I think they're big. Are they?
Here they are. Episode. Wow, they've a lot of episodes.
They're so funny.
Oh wow.
So I'm up to like 2. I'm starting to watch like 2 years ago's episode.
Yeah. But people say that to us as well. They end up listening like they're only starting now. So they're going all the way back.
Yeah, that's what it was. I found them on
Like you're in for a hell of a ride.
Found them on TikTok, and now I'm gone the whole way back. They're
Oh.
hilarious.
Oh wow, I must listen to them. I love podcasts.
Do you?
If I'm like, we were talking about this the other day, like we need to be stimulated
Stimulated
at all
yeah.
times.
Just stimulated. Is that not a sex word?
Well, yeah, but it's
Could
not
be used
in that
normally,
way. Yeah, it's like
Charlene said to
you
me
be
in the bubble
sexually
dome.
stimulated.
She's like, "Oh, you need to be stimulated." And I was like, "Say what now?" Charlene, you're trying to do what?
you're putting what?
Yeah, because we were like, "Oh, there's no telly in here." Remember, we walked into. We were like, "There's no telly in here," and then I was like, "Oh, I need to put mute.
You need
Like,
something to be
yeah.
stimulated.
You know, something. Yeah, I always
Is
have.
it simulated or stimulated?
I don't know. I think we're saying it wrong. The word stimulated reminds me of a vagina. Comes into my head straight away.
Let me look up the definition of stimulate, because I think like it just means something, but you can just say in different ways. Stimulated means stimulated. Raise levels of psychology or nervous system activity in the body or biological system.
Oh, so it can be your brain.
And this is the sentence in the women are given fertility drugs to stimulate their ovaries. So to get their ovaries to be active.
We like to do
We
it for
stimulate our brains. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it also means to encourage or arouse interest or enthusiasm in. So the reader could not fail to be stimulated by the ideas presented. So
Oh,
it's basically for everything.
okay.
But you stimulate like your vagina. Or, like,
Yeah,
stimulate
yeah,
your
that's
brain.
what I think of.
Yeah. But you just probably because you knew it from that.
Yeah.
I don't like going
No, stimulate always just like straight away. I'd think of sex before I
Really?
think of like something else.
We were saying we always need to be brainly stimulated.
Yeah.
Because I just can't like do it anymore without something on. Even I can't even sleep.
No,
I have to have rain on.
I have brown noise on.
I actually fell asleep the other night and the rain only lasted for 8 hours, but I slept for 12. And I woke up to dishwasher sounds.
Oh,
And it was like, this sound good for babies. And I was like, what? And it was a dishwasher.
Hoovers are good
It's
for
quite
babies.
nice. Yeah.
Hoover sounds. I don't know why mine's called brown noise.
That's like a certain frequency of sound, I
It's
think.
like a big fart.
Oh.
No, like, but that's
Oh.
brown noise. Like what? Like, it's not white noise. Like all.
Yeah, well, there's different types of noise. I think it's what level of frequency. it's
Like
on.
I literally have mine saved. Will I put it on?
Yeah,
for
I'll
you?
play as mine,
This
yeah.
is my. Now I used to do rain sounds, but then I stopped that because I found this, and I
Kind of makes you need to pee.
I turn it on for an hour. This is my brown noise. But I listen
It
to it
kind
like
of
this.
reminds you of when your TV can't.
Yeah,
is
I
it
put
working?
it on volume 2. Like you won't even be able to hear that.
No.
And I put it under my pillow. And I
Ellie, that's so dangerous.
sometimes I have it on
Your
the pillow
phone
or
could
like
go
beside
on
me.
fire.
Take me with you. And I and I listen to
be
that and I go, night, I'm gone in a half an hour. Like
What?
or less.
Half an hour?
They said that you should fall asleep in 7 minutes. Did you ever hear that?
You fall asleep in half an hour.
Last night I couldn't sleep. My jaw was killing me. My TMJ was
Oh
acting
my
up.
god.
Is it called TMJ? Yeah.
TMJ, yeah.
Yeah, it was acting up. I was literally lying in bed like this.
Why was it sore?
was
Just from all day?
No,
Really?
it was excruciating.
You
I
should
don't
get
know.
that Botox in your jaw.
I don't know what it was last night. It literally kept me up. And the only reason I didn't go down and take 2 Solpadeine was because Bobby was asleep. So I was like, not waking up.
Waking up the day.
I was doing this now.
Oh my god.
It's really bad. But show me your
Is it
sleep
because
noise.
you're? Oh yeah. Okay. Is it because you're clenching it all night or all
Yeah,
day?
I think the
and
new
then
teeth
sore?
as well are trying to like settle in.
Yeah.
And
But I think you should. Half an hour is very long to go sleep. What do you think of ever having an hour lying there?
I count.
To what? 10,000.
I try and count. Or I flip a certain way, but if I'm facing the wall, I know that I know
You're
that
gonna
I'm
get
gonna
sleep
have,
paralysis.
So I'll have sleep paralysis. So I'm telling myself to move, but then I'm real tired. So I'm like, can't be this moving. So then I face this way. And I saw a TikTok. The way that I fall asleep is so bad for your back. It's
Same sometimes.
I think, do we fall asleep?
The leg up.
Yeah, leg up, kind of
Yeah.
on your front.
Yeah.
Like, that is so bad for your back.
Yeah, I remember I had terrible back pain after that one time.
They say that the way you fall asleep is the longest position that you're going to be in. Nicole, actually, one of my friends told me
Wow.
this. Yeah, because she's pregnant now, and I was like, how? Because she sleeps like me sometimes on her back with her arms in the air,
Yeah.
but her arms
Yeah,
above
yeah.
her head. And she said, "I've hairy armpits, actually, Keen. Don't put that clip in." But she said that because I was like, "How do you?" She's asleep on her side, obviously, 'cause she's pregnant.
Yeah.
I was like, "How do you do that?" And she's like, "I don't know," but they said that the position you fall asleep in is the longest one you're going to be in throughout the night.
And then you just keep flipping and moving.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to like record yourself being asleep and see what you do?
No, I'd be scared.
Well, not to see any oogly booglies, but just to see oogly boogly man.
Do you talk in your sleep?
I don't think so. Dano fucking does sometimes.
I think just men in
And I
general
get
do.
a fright. Like, I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Himself, laughing in his sleep. Like,
Himself punches me all the time. And I'm like, you either
my
hate
God.
me or you're dreaming about hating me. 'Cause I don't know. And I say to him all the time, like, you nearly punched the head off
Like
me
a
last night. What
punching
do you be
bag.
thinking of? Yeah. But it's obviously because, I don't know.
it could be like twitches and all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Twitching and
Maybe you
magic.
need to listen. This is my rain. So I either
Show
depends
me.
on what type of rain sleep I want. There's this relaxing one. The row relaxing, but this is the first one. But this kind of, if you need to, if you
I need to wee
if
now.
you
so that's
anyway
not
need to
helping.
pee,
Yeah.
you're fucked.
That
right?
kind of sounds like a shower.
It does a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the other one. It's like thunder and lightning. There's,
I like that
there's
one.
a few. Oh yeah. oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
That's how I go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I need to just be. I love when you get into a really comfy position. This morning I woke up before my alarm, but I thought I had more sleep and I didn't.
Yeah, I woke up before my alarm because I thought an earthquake was going on in my house. I didn't
Oh, yeah,
know
you're-
what
you're-
on earth. It sounded like something was in my
It
house.
does, yeah, it rings around the whole.
Oh my Jesus! We're getting the driveway done in our house so we can all stop parking on the road. Because right now we
Yeah.
can only fit 2 cars in the garden, so we're getting rid of everything. I think my mom was a bit upset they got rid of the tree that's been in my house or in the front garden since they moved in. But
Yeah,
I
it's
was
kind of like emotional attachment. I feel like that as well.
But I was like, the state of that thing, it's like the fucking weeping willow. It's all dead and all.
I
And
know,
she was
but I
like,
feel like you think it's like a
Ellie,
first.
she was like, it wasn't always like that. She was like, when you were younger, you used to hide under that tree when it was all green and lovely and big.
Oh, I would be sad.
So I think she was a bit sad.
Yeah.
But I woke up at like 7:30 this morning to some digger in the front garden. I was like, what is going on in here?
Oh wow, yeah, it feels like it's in your brain.
The whole house was shaking.
Like yeah.
Shaking. I was like, what is going
know.
on? But
Yeah. That when you wake up for your alarm and you think you have more sleep, but it's just like 2 minutes till the alarm goes off.
I have my sleep mode thing on my phone, so it says that it lets me know when the next alarm is going to go off.
Yeah.
And it's like 1 minute and 22 seconds, and I'm still like, I'll just sleep for that 1 minute and 22
Yeah, that was
seconds.
the same. It's like any fucking chance.
Every second counts.
But wait till I tell you is where we tell you a little story of our lives. Story of my life. We tell you a little story of our week or life. But I just realised I never told the story of when me and Emma went to the strip club in Amsterdam.
Oh, yeah.
So we were just out in Amsterdam. We had a few drinks. We found it really hard to find somewhere that, first of all, shout out to the birds, 2 birds who I met in Amsterdam.
So cute.
And secondly, we just found it hard to find like a little like cozy kind of bar. Yeah, so we were just walking along, went to a few different places. Amsterdam's very seedy, I found.
It is.
Like,
yeah.
it's not really somewhere like, we didn't really realise till we were there that like, it's not really somewhere that like girls would just go by themselves. It's
No,
very much
yeah.
a boys' holiday, mostly. So when you're a girl there, it's like you're the only girl in the world,
Yeah.
like honestly. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
It's a bit odd.
and first of all, actually, a man was like, he said to me, how much? And I had a few drinks with me, and I was like, fuck off, I'm not prostitute. And he was like, well, you're in Amsterdam. And I was like, how
What does
dare
that
you?
mean?
And
Like,
literally,
yeah.
I was screaming at him. But not a good idea, though. 'Cause I
2
could've just
girls
got-
to go?
No, just
Oh.
for me, just be
Shouting at man?
Yeah, we
Ah.
got boxed round. Anyway,
Emma would have killed him for you.
yeah, no, everyone was like pulling me, like, trying to come on. But then we were walking down the road and we got like lured into a strip club. Well, they're just like trying to get you in, and they're like 2 drinks and your entry for €35. And we were like, we'll go in. Like, yeah, come on, be funny. And
When in Rome.
we go in. But like when I'd been in a strip club once
I know.
in Magaluf.
Oh, have you?
My fella was actually, I don't think we were together at the time, were we? No, we weren't together yet. But I was seeing him, and I seen him. I was like, I'm going.
I'm
in.
going too, yeah.
Went in. I was like, surprise.
Surprise.
But I was quite,
Johnny.
yeah, literally, that was me. But that was like kind of a smaller strip club and stuff. And so this time I didn't really know what to expect going underground. But you kind of expect like there to be like loads of people dancing and like you just have a drink anywhere, sit and watch.
I
and
think
whatever.
of that movie with like Cardi B and
Yeah.
Thing and Hustlers.
Yeah,
Is that what that's called?
Hustlers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of. Like,
yeah, no. So we
No.
went in, it was like a small bar. There was only me and Emma, and then another group of a few guys and all the strippers. And I was like, for
there loads of
crying
strippers?
out loud. Yeah, there were like 5 or 6 maybe. And they like, the stripper was like helping us get a drink when we got in and all, and we were like sitting down, and you sit
boobies
like
out.
no, they don't take their tops off until they go on the pole.
Oh,
And then they take it off. But then we're sitting around where the 2 poles are, but there's only one girl on the pole at a time. And then we were just watching them do their dance. I was like, how the fuck? I was like, I want to join the
were they
pole.
good?
Yeah, but no, they only take off their tops.
Oh, yeah.
That's like all. It's not fully naked. Like, I don't think any strip club is.
Are they not?
You know, I don't think so. But they take off their tops then in the end, and you're just like, woo, and like,
Boobies.
yeah, woo. And then they obviously try. So how like a stripper will get their money mainly is getting like a private dance.
Okay.
And me and Emma were mad about this one girl. She was fab and she was so nice. Like, 'cause they
Yeah.
come over and talk to her and they're like, how are you? And, like, where are you from and all? And she was like, I think she's from, I think it was Colombia she was
Oh.
from. But she was stunning. Like, her boobs were unreal. Like, I was like,
Were they fake?
who's your, yeah.
Oh,
I was
lovely
like,
fake.
who was your surgeon? Unreal hair and all. She was like doing mad dances and stuff. And then we were like, well, we broke a lap dance off her. And she was like, oh, you can only do one at a time. Like, she can't do 2 people at once. Like,
Yeah.
just one at a time. And I was like, right, Emma, you can get the dance. It's fine. And then they do it right in the club. Like, you don't.
I thought they take you off to like a private room.
I think maybe you can request that, but I've seen a few strip lap dances with fellas, and they were just they sit you in the corner, and then just like there's these things on. See them bars on the ceiling?
Yeah.
There's like ones like that, so they can hold them and do like their little dance and all. And you're just like, then Emma was getting the lap dance. Top was off. Emma's doing that.
Yeah, can you feel them not?
I think they have to give permission.
Oh yeah.
But like your one was loved us because we were girls.
Two girls. Yeah.
And we were just like, oh, by the way, we're not lesbians. I should say she's like, yeah.
Good one.
But
Much did Emma pay her
35 blips
for a little like 2-minute dance?
Like she was really nice, girl.
Yeah.
We loved her. And yeah, that was it.
That was it.
Yeah, great. I'd do it again. Great. Strippers are lovely people.
I've been in Amsterdam 3 times I think, but I walked through the red light district once and I didn't like it. I was like, I don't want to.
It's a bit.
I walked
creepy,
around it the next time. I was like, I don't. I just felt really bad. I think I just sat and like I'm nearly 100% sure all those women who do that is their choice to do it. Like I hope.
I hope so.
Like,
yeah.
I hope that none of them are made to do that. But something in me just felt like being like, you don't have to. Like you.
I know.
I don't know.
No, I know.
That's probably the wrong way to think about it. But because then there was other ones, and they were just sitting there eating lunch out of their Tupperware boxes in this window.
Yeah, just like on the phone.
Yeah.
And voice messages.
I was like, the whole place is just
it's a mad concept. It is mad.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it's just like I didn't like. Fair, like they look around the windows and all, but I didn't like how the men were looking at them. And I know that's like obviously they have to look at them. They're going in and they're doing whatever. But like something about it, I was just like, oh, like I hate men.
Something about it.
Yeah, but I feel like strippers are like proper like girls, and like
when I watch Hustlers,
I feel like they really I feel like they
well.
She really liked us because like she's probably used to all like men being weird, but we were just like
we'll just come in and support.
Oh, and then she let us on the pole and was showing us how to do one of the moves. Me and Emma in fucking God knows what we were wearing boots and all was around the pole in the middle of the thing.
Did anyone give you a few bob?
No.
Well.
No, we were really bad.
Get your moolah.
So you put one leg up like that and cross the other leg over. My hip.
And sit on it. Did she show you how to sit on it?
You're kind of sitting on it.
Yeah,
and then I was spinning, I was like, and then Emma fell down the stairs and we left.
Great.
So
you ever heard those peep shows over there?
Oh, we went to one of them as well.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah.
They're like slots or something.
Oh, that was bizarre. I didn't think.
Wait, is it people having sex or just one person standing there?
No,
you
just
can go
one.
to sex ones.
You can go to them. They're like really expensive. They're like a proper show. You sit in. I think you get like popcorn and sit and watch.
And watch people have sex.
I don't think I could do that. Love the strip club. Don't love the sex shows. Anyway, went to the peep show as well. There's like a little. How to explain it? Like loads of little confession boxes around.
Like a church.
That's what it's like, a little bit around like a circular area, and you go in and then you slot like €2 into the slot and you get 1 minute and like your little blind comes up, but I didn't think she could see us because I couldn't see into any other windows, but obviously there was no one in them, so I was just like and then the whole time she could see us and she's just like sitting there and like I think she had no top on already and just sitting there just touching herself. I was like, oh,
What's touching her boobies like?
Yeah, and other places, and me and Emma were just like, okay, can we leave now?
Oh no, I'd feel
But it's mad. It doesn't feel real in something like that. But you have to do it. It's such like a mad experience.
Isn't that what they put that girl in Taken?
Oh, what?
Your man's daughter, yeah.
Lord, don't say that.
They put her in the middle of this room and there was all, just a circle of people around.
Yeah, that probably is that. Maybe don't attend that.
I think it was something like that. And like it was all these men trying to buy
I don't know what it's like in that, like in Amsterdam, if it's known for like people being trafficked and stuff.
No,
I don't
surely
know.
not.
Do you not think?
No. No, I don't think so. I think it's too known of a place for stuff like that to go on.
Yeah.
I'd hope.
You'd hope, yeah.
That's all we can say. I don't know too much about it, but I hope everyone's
But the
safe.
strip club, everyone's having a great time.
Great time.
Great time.
Ball.
It's called Banana Club, by the way. If anyone wants to go. And the lovely girl is the one with the big long ponytail.
Oh.
But yeah, that was my wayside, tell you.
Lovely.
Word association time.
Now, Kane told us that we played this wrong.
Yeah, we did.
So, explain to me how we do this.
So we both say a random word that comes into our head.
Okay.
And then we go 3, 2, 1 for the next word, and we have to find something that like meets in the middle. So
Okay.
say if I say chair and you say camera, we might think of something that matches both of them. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Or like find a middle ground between. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We think of a word first. Okay.
Do you count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 3, 2, 1. Car.
Hairbrush.
3, 2, 1. Chair. Oh, that's very hard. I don't think that's right, Kin.
Is that it?
Is it? Oh, it's very.
So you have to
difficult.
find some sort of common ground between a hairbrush and a car.
Gear stick.
Why is that a common?
Has the same shape handle as a hairbrush. Kind of.
Does it?
Not really, no.
You don't even have a gear stick. In
I don't
your-
remember gear stick, yeah. Yeah.
What was
I
the
think-
old one that we did?
It's you say a word and then I go, and then we both find a word again.
Yeah.
Very confusing game. You go.
No,
you
I
say a
think
word.
we're just
Yeah,
overcomplicating
I
it.
feel a bit sick now.
Why? Okay. So I say a word, you say a word.
Yeah. And then we both say words.
Okay. Word association toast.
Juice.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
3,
3, 2, 1.
Breakfast.
That's good. That wasn't even that obvious, I feel.
Okay, I like
Oh my
that. Was
God.
good.
Very good.
Have you seen the twin telepathy thing on TikTok?
No. Is that what we have?
We could do. We
Maybe.
should try it one day. Where they sit at a table
Oh,
and they have the
yes.
exact same products on either side, or like colours or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And they hold them up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We
And
should
see
try
what
it one
is.
day and see
Yeah.
if we.
Or numbers on their hands and see what if you pick the
Oh
same.
yeah.
That was very good.
Well done, us.
So today on How My Drink, we have very special guests. We have our management, Icon Management.
Woo.
Hello.
Delighted to be here, guys.
Yeah.
How My Drink. For anyone who doesn't know, what is Icon Management? To
Where do we
explain.
start?
Yeah, I think maybe to start with Icon Management. So I'm Connor and this is
Sarah.
So Sarah.
Can I be really rude and interrupt? Actually, people always ask, "Are you together?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are we
So
with?
we are.
Only recently, and they were like, "Are they a couple?"
Who
Yeah.
was it? Yeah.
We were with someone, and they were like, "Are they together?" And we were like, "Yeah."
Well, it's not like it's really weird because it's not like the first thing you say to someone. Like,
No.
oh, by the way,
Hi, we're
we're a couple. Like, for
How do you bring
people-
that up? Yeah,
people
yeah.
that join the team or that, like, you know, it's like they join and they're there a couple of weeks and then someone
And
might
then
just
they
say,
couple it.
oh, by the way, just giving you a heads up,
yeah.
Sarah and Connor are together.
married.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We've been together since we're 14. So
That's
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So that's maybe people wonder what the hell is the story. But,
Yeah.
yeah, Icon Management maybe it came about. I suppose we have a couple of different digital marketing agencies. We have Social Media Leash, kind of does like paid performance with clients. We have Viral Media, just a web agency, and in the middle of that, Icon Management came along. And I suppose the story kind of started from maybe Sarah and her connection with Kaylee at the time.
Yeah, so basically myself, Connor and Kaylee all were in Inlaw at the same time.
Well, I wasn't in England.
Well, you worked.
You were.
You did
I did
marketing.
MUA.
You did, yeah, you did marketing for Inlot, but also Ellie was there as well. So I think how Icons like started was Kaylee was becoming really big at the time, and she left Inlot and she went out by herself, and she was always messaging me to be like, oh, this brand has reached out, and you know, how should I deal with this? And kind of always for my advice because I was her friend.
Yeah.
So I was always having her back and giving her like the best advice from a friend point of view. So this was going on for quite a while, and it just made sense. It was like, should I just be managing you? Like,
Is that just
Yeah.
because you knew so much about the industry? Like, how did you know what to say back? Like, how
not
did you know?
necessarily, but like it was just more so like, oh, make sure that brand doesn't take advantage of
Yeah.
you, or make sure like you charge right for that. And it was such a new world that
Back
Kaylee
then.
was gone into. So like not a lot of people knew what
No,
to say or how
so
to deal
new,
with things.
yeah.
So I think it was a learning curve, but like I always knew, like I kind of had an idea like what was right and
Yeah.
what was wrong. So like it was good to be able to advise her then of what to say back to these brands and stuff.
And I think influencing was quite early at that stage. And I think what was happening was a lot of brands were working with influencers and they would actually end up disappointed. And the reason was, I was like, oh, I want to work with you, Ellie, on this campaign. And they'd do something, but they'd never give you a brief, and you'd create something that you thought was good, but was not what they wanted or the
Yeah.
day or the time. And both sides ended up not happy. So the influencer wasn't happy and the brand wasn't happy. So Icon Management was maybe about trying to create a bit of transparency in terms of pricing, working with an influencer. And it really started around Kaylee, and probably that concept of a friend relationship, as in like you're doing what's right for your friend,
and the money comes afterwards.
Yeah, you're not thinking of money first.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Money is the bonus.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
money is great, like,
Yeah.
but it needs to make sense for you. And like, if you're doing everything right, the money is going to follow, and it's going to
Yeah.
be more. Like, you're going to get more longevity out of it as well. So yeah, I think we started with Kaylee. Never imagined what it was going to turn into. Thought I was just going to be like busy with Kaylee, that I wouldn't need to work with anyone else. I think. Then Ellie, I started chatting with you. Yeah,
I think
You were the second.
Yeah, it was, I think I was
so.
actually
Know that.
in a different management at the time.
Yeah.
But we had known each other through Ingla.
Yeah.
And I remember we just kept in contact and then asking you or something like,
I think it was the same thing. You
Yeah.
used to write to me and be like, "Oh, this
There-
brand has
yeah.
reached out. What do you think?
What do I do?
What should I charge?"
Yeah.
And I was kind of giving you the same sort
Yeah.
of advice for so long.
Yeah, it was too
Like
long.
so long.
too long.
And I didn't know what Ellie's story was. Like, I didn't know if she had management, and like I didn't want to like ask
Overstep.
questions. I was
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like helping you along the way.
Yeah.
And I think I got to a point where I was like,
Here.
this is a bit of a joke. I was like, this one here now. But no, I could see, like, you know, there was like obviously so much opportunity for you, and I was like, oh, she's not doing enough.
Yeah.
I was like, I'd love to be able to help her. So I think I said it to you one
You
day. I was
did,
like,
yeah.
hey, what's the story? Like, do you
yeah.
want me to manage you, or what's the crack?
That's exactly
And I think you were like, oh my God, Sarah, I thought you'd never ask.
I was waiting, was I?
That's why you kept asking.
I was afraid to ask you.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to ask you because I just didn't want to overstep the mark. But
we
yeah.
were both too afraid to ask.
Yeah,
That was
so
me too.
funny. So funny. So yeah, started working with you then. And then we took on Aidan Kate, we have Laura Johnson, we have Chloe Coyce, Lauren Whelan, and then I think Charleen, you came along.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like you've only been with us,
Yeah.
what is it, like
12 months.
just over a
Yeah.
year.
I used to tell Charlene all the time, I'd be like, come on, like, will you?
Yeah.
I was like an agency hoe. Like,
Right, yes.
so many
I
different
used to
ones.
always be like, come on. And I
Yeah.
think I remember, I don't know who I was talking to. Karen's here in the room with us as well. Hello, Karen.
Hello,
But I think I might have been talking to Karen one day or something, and I was like, we'll get Charlene and I
Yeah.
come on now. Like, you
Yeah.
can't be
Yeah.
messing around
Yeah.
anymore.
And it made sense because the podcast as well.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
to have the same
All
management.
under the
It's
one
messy
roof.
otherwise, but yeah, I'd been in so many different agencies, and I think you were probably like, oh God, is she just gonna be like here for a few months? Like when I
Yeah.
first joined, because I remember you saying like people don't really leave, and I was like,
Yeah.
When you're in, you're in.
no,
That's
because
a
but
good
there's
point,
a
though,
reason for
Sharon.
that because
Yeah.
it's a different type of management from what
Yeah.
I've experienced before. Completely.
Definitely. Like we're so like I said there, like people before everything. Like
Yeah.
really important that like we put our best foot forward, and everyone that we work with, we feel like we can make a difference to them. So like we don't want to take on, we're a small agency, but we don't want to take on like loads and loads of creators, because I think you guys can vouch for this, that like the level of what we work with you guys on is probably different to any other agency that you're going to get out
Yeah.
there in terms
Yeah.
of like we work with like from a financial point of view, like we're helping like build like a brand, or like, you know, knowing the end goal of what you guys want from everything. So I think that's super important to us in everything we do.
I think there's a lot of agencies doing good work, but their primary job is just to negotiate
Money.
with money, with a
Yeah.
business, and that's it. And that's absolutely fine. And some people just want that.
Yeah.
I suppose what we try to work with is as creators to really develop them a lot more in terms of making sure that they can be the best they can be online, working with the best brands, how you grow them personally, and actually how you can evolve them as an influencer as their audience grows, and build different revenue streams for them. And I think we've done that with quite a few people in particular. I think even like you look at Ellie, let's say your journey over the last few years and how you've evolved, and
It's been a whirlwind.
it's
Yeah.
crazy, like, you know, and all you're looking for is to work with really ambitious people. And I think that's quite important. We were even talking on the way up, like you want to work with people that you can really see their vision as well. And everyone's vision is different. Like Ellie, Charlene, your vision, you work together on a podcast, but you have different visions beside that as well.
Yeah.
And
And you work differently.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
the way that we communicate with Ellie is different to the way that we communicate with Charlene
Oh,
or
God,
with
yeah.
any of the other guys. Like, so, you know, it's very
Like, do you think if you tried to do the same thing with everyone?
no, it never
It
works.
doesn't
no,
work.
it
Never.
wouldn't
No.
work. Like
No.
definitely not. Like it's, and I think like in our team, like Karen and Sarah Lowe are very good at actually understanding
that,
the different
yeah.
personalities and how we manage it. And we've
Yeah.
another person joining the team. And when we're recruiting, we really take time to make sure that people are going to understand how to work with an influencer and a creator. And we even talk about like, you can't push your influencers to the max. Like for us, success is you fulfilling your potential. And we can't do that unless we have a really ambitious team internally to absolutely push you forward and really every week push you to the next level. And I think that's what is done so well in Icon. Like on a Monday, Tuesday, having calls, having calendars, having your work set up, having like just organic content, meaning not paid, and you know how you're really going to engage with your audience. It's more than just like, oh, here's the deal, just do this bit of content for us. So much is planned and thought out for you.
And I think you guys even know that, like, we're on to you about like organic, like what are you doing organic? Like, you know, the organic is as important as the paid side of things.
Yeah. I think that's only a new thing as well, though. We talked about that one day. Like years ago, the influencer industry was so different to what it is now. Like it was literally a
What do
brand.
you mean, like a different?
Like
it
a
wouldn't
brand,
have been organic.
No, a brand got in touch with you. Hey, can I pay you a few bob? You do this work, and literally that's what it was. Whereas now, and you've taught us this, that now brands look and they're like, right, have they organically mentioned us before? They're more inclined to work with you if you're actually doing that.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's more.
it wasn't
It's better like
years
that
ago.
though, because like people are actually using the product.
It's more
and they can see
genuine.
it.
Whereas it wasn't like that years ago. It was literally you're paid to do
Well,
it.
what you're seeing now is you're seeing influencers work with brands they genuinely care
they
about and
like,
they use every day.
Yeah.
And that's why you see when an influencer promotes a product or just uses it without being paid for it, like, oh, I trust that. So when they do actually do a paid partnership, you're like, it naturally fits into their feed and who they're about. And that's very important to what we try to create.
You can even tell the difference in engagement if you do something organic, say link clicks or something, and it's a paid post is huge.
So different.
Because people are like, oh, she actually does use it. I'm like, I was using it in the ad as well. Like, but they're just, people are scared of ads. Do you think that's going to go away, or are people
the
going to
word paid partnership
keep going to
they
just scrolling by paid partnership?
roll their eyes?
Yeah.
And
I think it's
one.
all about like different creators present it very differently.
Okay.
And I think it's how you present that piece of content.
Yeah.
So if you genuinely use it, whether you're getting paid or not paid, they're going to buy into it.
Yeah.
But if I ask you to promote something tomorrow paid and you just throw it into the feed or into your stories there, most likely your followers are going to see through that.
Yeah.
And you can see in terms of the brands you work with and other people within Icon, you're working with them on a consistent basis. And we try to actually build in brands that want to work with you as part of a longer term strategy that you can actually feel comfortable promoting. So this one-off posting, you will still continue to see it. But what will end up happening is the brand will be disappointed by the results and the influencer will be like, and then the followers like, they're trying to cut us. So
I think a really big thing though as well is that we're trying to encourage brands to allow the influencer to come up with the content rather than the brand come
Works
and say,
so much better.
oh, this is what we want. Because
Do you think sometimes they haven't a clue? Like,
or they're kind of thinking, oh, like, how do we want this to look? Like, you know, these are the key points that we need ticked off in this content. So like we need it in this way. Like, so they're kind of like regimenting that. But I get it. They want to make sure that they're paying for an influencer. They want all the key points to be mentioned. But I think a big thing that we do is we go back to the brand and be like, look, not really vibing with that piece of content that you want. Maybe let's ask the guys for a concept and they can come back with what they think is going to work on their page because they know best. And I think a lot of brands are starting to trust that now. And allowing us to ask you guys, okay, what's your concept, and like work with them like that. And I think it's worked out so much better.
It does.
because the influencer is going to know what works.
Yeah. And then your followers are going to appreciate that so much more because they're like, oh yeah, this makes sense. It's not just a random.
When I first started, remember doing like product placements and your holes. I'm like that. And
like telesales.
It just look, and even when I see that, I'm like, oh
No.
I just think it looks so
Paid.
addy. You couldn't make it more like an ad if you tried.
No, I get
But you you think about it, if you were out at the weekend and you have a dress, your hair done, your tan, your makeup, what happens is, oh, I love your dress. Where did you get that? What lipstick are you wearing? What lashes are you wearing? What's in your hair? You know, that sort of stuff. That's what influencing at the top level looks like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually then just after Charleen, we had Sean join. So,
We did,
the third member.
Yeah.
And Sean is amazing, but I think Sean has definitely like put us in a different direction because we primarily were focusing on like makeup and fashion.
Yeah,
And now Sean is like more of a personality. So it's cool like working with Sean and seeing like the opportunities there from
Come up for him.
from
It's
that
different
side of things. Yeah.
road
Yeah.
off what
I
we
think
do.
it's harder
Yeah.
for a male influencer because there's less you can do in a way,
true.
isn't there? We
Yeah.
have like, especially if he doesn't do makeup, which Sean doesn't.
Yeah.
There's a lot more brands I feel like that work with influencers that are fashion and beauty, but then for a male, it's like you obviously working with a smaller number of brands. I feel it's more like food and like drink and stuff.
He
isn't
just
it?
needs
like,
a TV show at this stage.
yeah,
doesn't he?
yeah.
He
he
needs
does.
to go on
Yeah,
He's the
something like
best.
that.
The best.
And then the podcast, you've obviously helped us with that as well, and it's
Yeah.
just grown
Massively.
over the last year and a half?
No,
No.
It'll be 2 years in October, I think,
Years
is
in
it?
October, yeah.
I think it's incredible, and
Yeah.
I think the success that you've had, and I suppose on the Icon team, Karen really drives that, Witchy in particular. I think
Sitting here saying, yes, I know.
no, absolutely.
Weeping.
I think it's important to know with a podcast, you can't just turn up and just think that everyone's going to listen every single week. And there's other work from the GoLoud team here that supports you a lot on it as well. But in terms of like, people obviously follow you, but they don't realize, we probably see the other side to, if you're to use the word superstars, like to kind of give scale of what we're talking about here, on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, selling out Vicar Street, selling out tickets in a couple of minutes. It's insane stuff. 2,500 people. There's very little people who are doing this sort of stuff in any sort of eventing at all. And this is continuous. And the demand I see when I go with you anywhere, the demand for photos and what you mean to a follower when you meet them. I see followers coming up, shaking, crying, that you mean so much.
insane.
It's such a positive impact because they could relate to your stories, or,
Yeah.
you know, they could relate to something on the podcast, and they really connect with that. So the podcast is something that has become absolutely massive. And I think it's only scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Literally,
like the demand for you, for listening to this podcast and for people to actually see you in person is just huge.
I think it gave people a different insight into us as well. Like, you can you obviously admire people on social media for like a pretty picture and a pretty face, and she dresses lovely and I love you. But like, I think the podcast definitely gave people, like Connor said, it made us more relatable in a way.
human.
And they feel like they're your friends.
Yeah. I've cried too many times in this podcast. Like,
But even at your after party that we had that night,
was mental.
me and Connor were parking the car, and Karen was messaging me, and she was like, "Where are you?" And I was like, "We're trying to park the car," and we were literally driving around in a circle. I was like to Connor, "Karen is messaging me. I hope there's nothing wrong, like, you know." And she was like, "No, just there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Like, it's all okay. Just want you to get in. Like, you need to see this." I walked in the doors and I was like, "What the hell is going on?"
That was mad.
There was hundreds of people like wanting to get up to you and get pictures, and like it was just
I don't
insane.
remember any.
Like, we keep saying it.
Well, though.
We keep saying it to everyone. It was like Justin Bieber was in the building. Like, it was insane.
But I felt really bad, and I kept telling all the people who were like standing at the barrier, I was like, go and have a drink, and like
I was dancing. I went down and was dancing.
I was like, I'll be up to you in a few minutes. And I was like, lads, I don't want just to wait. Like, and as much as on one hand that melts my heart, I'd also hate for someone to be standing there and then be disappointed if
It's quite hard. Like,
Yeah.
I think if you're to do like any meet and greet stuff that we've seen in previous events, it actually has to be organised to not just for you to actually have space to do it, but for a flow, a queue of people, for everyone to get their opportunity.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's too hard to just do one or two photos here and there. Like, it's actually a very hard thing to do, and you could
get
see the
left out
demand
then,
of people just wanting to try to get photos of you from a distance. It was insane, and
mental.
that kind of gives you that insight into the impact this podcast is having on people and people listening, how much they really enjoy and connect with you. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Maybe
How much
we'll
it
add a
means.
VIP ticket and
Yeah.
some people.
Meet you.
Meet you at some stage.
Yeah. We always meet them out and about those everywhere, don't we, Zell?
Yeah.
I seen a girl in Amsterdam, she was like, bird! Well, it's like a little community like that. But
I think the audience really wins with you. And when, like, you've
Yeah.
seen in the past, when you've gone through heartbreak or whatever, they've gone through that with you.
Yeah.
And let's say when you've had your wins personally, they've really won with you.
They love it,
You
like,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
they do. Like, you seen Charleen, you have in your car there recently. You know, people really felt as if they were
They
part.
got a car,
That's
yeah.
it, yeah.
yeah.
And that's
We all
the
get cars.
support. Like, that everyone feels part of the success.
Yeah.
So it's huge energy that comes from that.
Yeah,
love
because
it.
I think we let them into our life so they see it all as it's happening.
Yeah.
And then they feel a part of it. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
why that happens then. So.
But there's even like some stuff on the podcast like that we wouldn't necessarily share just normally on like social media and stuff.
No, yeah, God, no.
Yeah.
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 But social media,
God, no.
it's gotten
I'll
a
put
bit-
it on the podcast.
The more followers you get on Instagram and stuff, probably less likely you are to share everything.
Yeah.
So the podcast feels more like a safe space rather than Instagram, who people just can make fake accounts and all.
Yeah.
No one can reply to us on the podcast.
Yeah, true.
We have some questions from our followers as well. So, Someone said, "Are you hiring?"
We just
Just-
hired.
just-
You just hired?
Just hired.
But
So-
we keep an eye on your. You always put
Yeah,
stuff
we
up on
always
the
do,
Instagram
yeah.
stuff,
Yeah, I think within the group, just so people understand, we have like about 40.
Loads of staff.
It's about 40 people. Yeah, so
Wow.
like obviously Icon is one part of that team. So in the group, there's always roles in social media lead and Icon management being hired first, so they can keep an eye on them.
My favourite part is that they can start working when they want, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah.
Was it?
So you work the hours you want. We
Yeah.
kind of say
Oh,
up
Nick,
to
when
a
you go
certain
in,
time.
I'd be in 1 minute before I had to start.
We kind of say like it's all like I suppose
To an extent.
To an extent, like
Yeah.
we say like kind of late start maybe 9:30, but some people come in at 7:30 and you finish relevant to the time you start. So
Oh, wow.
you don't have set times for lunch breaks or anything. It's our place is full of ambitious, high-performing people who really want to excel to be their best. So you don't need to manage them when they should be in and when they should be leaving. They can manage themselves
Yeah.
when they should have lunch. And in that energy, in that place, then it allows for unbelievable work to be created with the likes of yourselves and other brands because people are so driven to be their best. It's a quite unique environment that they create.
And kind of builds trust then as well because you know
Huge.
they're doing their.
Karen, you in at 7:30 every morning?
Karen's not bad. I can tell you the people in at 7:30. I can tell you the people in at 9:31 as well.
Karen's in the middle.
Yeah, she's in the middle. Yeah,
Someone said the worst live show.
Oh, jeez.
the
Oh
worst
my
thing.
God, there was none.
No,
They obviously weren't
no.
there. I think anyone who's at a live show, it's just like it's unbelievable. And if
And
you
you can
haven't been-
literally
Yeah.
go to every single
Show
live
and
show.
different-
Like I met a girl the last time at the very last show, and she'd been to every single
single
one.
one.
I had met someone out actually.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was, and she was like, "I've been to 5 of your live."
Because they're so different every
Wow.
night.
So
Like,
different.
that's the good thing about you. You
Different
don't like
guests, yeah.
do the same content, and there's different
Yeah,
guests
we
and
don't
stuff,
want
so.
it
Yeah.
to be the same.
anyone who
fair.
I knew who went to it were just like, oh my God,
Man.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Good.
It's such a different night out as well, isn't it? It's something
Oh,
different to
it's so
go to.
good.
That's not a concert.
It's really good.
I think it just
like
feels
the
real
little- yeah.
wholesome.
Yeah, it is. Oh, the little lens song.
It's so wholesome. I love them.
Someone asked who was the hardest to work with.
Me.
Creators, as in creators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say me. I'll cry now.
I don't think you're hard to work with. I actually think you're very ambitious, the two of you. And our,
Do you think
and our,
influencers in general are hard to work with?
I'm
like as
sure
as people.
they are, but I
Yeah.
suppose like from anyone that we have, like there's a certain level of expectation. So like I think from the start, you guys know how we work. So like we work together. It's not that someone is worse than the other person. It's
Yeah.
like we understand that Ellie, for example, you might be in the gym first thing in the morning. So like there's no point in like starting a conversation in the morning. Like we'll talk to you after you've had your breakfast and everything like that. Or then someone mightn't want to be bombarded with questions and WhatsApps all day. So it's like
Yeah.
jump on a call with them. So
Yeah.
it's definitely tailored to suit that individual. So I can't say that anyone is difficult because like we've already like tailored ourselves to work with that person.
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think like in the recruiting of actually taking on creators, we speak very openly about what is your vision, like do we align in terms of how we work together, and sometimes look, we don't think we're the right person to manage that person, and that's fine. So we're very particular in terms of who we manage.
Who you pick, yeah.
So like there's lots of creators maybe in the future that we will manage, but I think they'll have to work a certain amount with us and we have to work a certain amount with them. But we're there to really push to get the best out of you in a positive way, and understand how we can do that is understanding what works best for you as well.
Yeah.
So it's not about, oh, they just don't work for us, they're difficult. That's not what this is about. It's actually
Yeah.
about both sides understanding how we work together to make it successful.
Yeah.
Someone asked that. How do they choose who to represent? Do they reach out
Yeah.
first?
Not usually, to be
Like, does
honest.
the icon page get like Instagram messages being like, "Hi, can you be my manager?"
Yeah.
So we get
A lot
loads
of
of
that.
incoming messages, but we won't actively reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
so much. I suppose everyone that's come has come through
Through reaching out.
reaching out to us. I could be wrong now, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have a good eye for knowing like who's good, but
Yeah.
it's like on meeting them and being like, okay, what are your values? Like, how do you work? Like, is this going to make sense? Like, what's your vision? Like, are you going to work hard? Like, loads of different things like
Yeah.
that.
I think there's a couple of things, like if someone's a creator and they want to be managed by, let's say, someone like Icon, obviously they can reach out, and they could be a top level creator, as in like very top of their game with management and looking for something fresh. We've no problem speaking to them, but also someone micro. someone who's small
Yeah.
that we
Up and
see
coming
potential
kind of, yeah.
and we can help them. Like Chloe Coyce maybe is an example.
Perfect
I
example,
think
yeah.
Chloe maybe only had 20 or 30,000 followers, but we saw a lot of potential in terms of the vision and what she wanted, and she was extremely hardworking.
Yeah.
And Chloe is a very successful influencer with
Yeah.
the Icon team now. So like you could have someone reach out of the same level and we could do a review, or you could have someone reach out with a couple of 100,000 followers and say, yeah, we're both right for each other now. So
Yeah.
it works both
There's
ways.
no number kind of that you have to.
No, definitely
Yeah.
not.
And then this is something I actually was interested in asking as well. How do you deal with the backlash or the public instances of your influencers? And like, do you feel pressure? You manage people with so many followers. Do you feel the pressure of those followers as well? Kind of.
Yeah,
managing us?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Like so many times you'd see like comments or whatever, and you're like fighting back, writing
Yeah.
something back to them.
Yeah.
Imagine your management replying back.
Yeah, well, actually, I think one time before Connor did. I think he did once before because it was really, I don't know what, I can't even remember who it was or what the comment was, but it was really, really inappropriate. And I remember going onto the person's page and it was like a father and had like pictures of his kids and like everything like that. And Connor was like looking at it and like, how is this guy speaking to a woman the way he was like, no, I'm not having it. So he definitely did reply once that I can remember.
I think we're naturally very protective. Like if you go back to how Icon is created, it's kind of close.
Based on like friendship.
And
So,
loyalty, trust. And when you see this, you feel very protective of you.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, unfortunately in this industry, you're always going to have people who are negative or jealous and all that sort of stuff. And we can say that in meetings like, look, expect some negativity. But you can't really prepare for that when it comes.
No.
And I think one of the things that we do in Icon very well is trying to focus on the positive numbers. So forget about even following. We don't really focus on that either. We focus on positive numbers and positive habits. So if we want to really, what can we control? So we can control how many times we post. We can control how many times we post on stories. And as a result of that, we start to see the engagement and positive comments come out of that. And we can then say, well, actually, let's focus on the goodness in this, the likes, the comments, everything. And like, you might have 35,000 likes on a photo and you might have one comment. And I know that you would focus on the negative comment.
Yeah.
So it's so important that our conversation always focuses around what we can control.
Yeah.
And trying to keep the mindset on that. Because one person who's listening to this podcast or anywhere, going online, creating a fake page and posting a negative comment, it has a huge ripple effect.
Yeah.
And that's something that needs to stop on a wider level. So what we can control is focusing on them positive comments and creating positive content. That's all you can do.
But definitely when you guys are going through it or if anything is happening, you guys, we definitely feel it. We literally...
You're always there though. Like I know obviously everything that you went through recently. And I remember something I can't even remember. I don't even remember how it even started, but I remember texting you at like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, like me panicking, but like you are always there to
I think
help you.
that maybe summarizes Icon. Like, it's so much more beyond work.
It's not a 9 to 5 thing.
Yeah.
Right, clocking off, see you.
No.
Even though I'm sure Karen sometimes
Definitely
wishes it was. Fuck off.
It's definitely not. It's very much like personally invested into you. And that's personal things that you might have going on or family or
literally
relationships.
anything. I think like I know everything pretty much about
You do?
both of you.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's really important, like, because it allows us to understand maybe like times of the week that you're just like not feeling it. You don't want to do work. You don't want to communicate. Like you're not wanting to post particular types of content, or you need to push out a brand deal or whatever it is. I think it's important that we do understand what's going on in your personal life, so we
It's
can.
so nice to have that relationship though. Like even after the live shows and stuff, remember we were all trying to text the day after, and me and Charleen were just like, no,
There was just a monkey with symbols.
in our head, and we were like, lads, we just can't string a sentence together. Come on, can we talk to us on Monday? Like, but it's so good to be able to have that. And like you said, like anything we go through in our personal lives, there are times where it's so nice to be able to be so comfortable to be like, here, I don't want to post. Can I take some time off?
Yeah, of course.
All that is
And
so
having
nice.
that advice and reassurance of like how to come back after not posting and just
best things to
like
do.
little pushes and just
Because I'm sure there's managements and stuff out there who you'd nearly be afraid to.
Of course.
yeah, you wouldn't tell. You know, it's just not that relationship where you'd ever even think of telling them in a way. Like a lot of my old managements, I wouldn't even have, if I was having a bad day, I'd be like, oh, I wouldn't tell them that. Like, why would I tell them that? Like, what? Like, you just.
And that's why that relationship's so different. And it goes beyond just like getting the next job for you. Like, I know that's stuff that you're personally working on outside of on, let's say, your Instagram and stuff, we're trying to help with. Like, I know, let's say, Charleen, you getting a car, we were helping with that, with financial advice and other stuff. So we go beyond just trying to just help with, okay, there's a deal here to be done on this. That's only one segment of what actually
One very small segment.
yes, Icon does.
And you've helped Ellie launch EKI wear
Unbelievable.
Yes.
last year.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
last year. We might have it coming back this year. We don't know yet.
We're working
Giving out
on
to Karen
it.
last night. She's like, might not be happening. I was like, wait a minute. Might be. Hold on. We're working on it.
Yeah.
We're in the midst of working on it. It's just me and timings are not good friends.
But that
Really
kind of
not.
gives you an example of like with Icon and probably the ecosystem we have around us in terms of the businesses, and we obviously have a team in China as well where we can, develop products. Like you created them sunglasses from scratch,
Yeah.
and you could take real pride in building a brand and a business with that, and huge success it was. And now it's about how we can actually evolve that or relaunch it, and because it was obviously sunglasses, it was very successful, completely sold out. Like it was incredible, and maybe there'll be something for Charleen as well coming soon. Who knows?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Can we say that we were going to do it this year and not, or no? Or leave it?
I think we could say there was something planned for this year.
So we had originally planned to launch something this year,
Yeah.
but we all agreed that it just wasn't the right
Yeah.
time. Things take so long.
And I
That
think
people
that's
don't
the important
realise,
thing
like-
though as well is that like we had a conversation
Yeah.
and we knew that we could do something. But was the something going to be
Good enough, yeah.
good enough
Yeah.
and to all of our standards? And I'm very much a type of person that like if you're going to do something, you're going to do it right.
Right,
So
yeah,
like
me
I don't
too.
like to do anything that's
Half-arsed.
half-arsed. No, like really don't.
Yeah.
So I think I just like had that gut feeling. I was saying it to you and Charlene, you were on the same page as me as well.
Yeah,
So
100%. Yeah.
I think it's best to stop, rethink and do it
And
right
go
next
back,
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Coming soon.
And I think
Next year.
that's it. It is, and it is something maybe that with the marketing strategy we have for that, now that we've time, I think it's something that maybe you will be revealing to the audience sooner
Sooner
we,
than I think,
we had
yeah.
thought. And
Yeah.
I
They're
think
teasing it sooner.
Well, no, we want people to maybe help
Yeah.
Absolutely.
with the creation of it because it's such a
complex.
it's very complex.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so much to build in a brand that you don't think of.
But if you're going to
And
do it
it's-
right, Sharon,
yeah, of
and I think
course.
like you've seen with Ellie with sunglasses, and maybe again Ellie, why we didn't just pick any sunglasses to launch just for the
Yeah.
start of the summer is because your reputations is very important.
Of course,
And
yeah.
we source everything the best way. We create it from scratch. It's not just putting your name on something.
And I think that's actually really important is that like when creating brands with any of the creators that we have, it has to be done to perfection
Yeah.
because you guys are always going to be more
name is
susceptible
You
to
could get cancelled.
like whatever like
be
you're
gone.
like unfortunately from the very start when you launch a brand been an online personality or creator or whatever, I think you're going to be judged more so than any other person. So like
harder.
you're
Oh,
you
way
definitely
harder,
you definitely
way
are. So like we want to try and eliminate like anything there that someone can pick out and be like, oh, they didn't think of this or they didn't do that. We want to have everything
Tick every
to
box,
as
yeah.
best
Yeah.
as we can.
Like you're always gonna have people who
of course.
They'll find
yeah,
something out
yeah.
of nothing.
yeah,
Like,
something out of nothing, but if you
Yeah.
can eliminate more of them, then you
Yeah, the
can.
majority
Yeah.
of them.
if
Yeah.
you can really stand over the brand and this
Be
is where
proud of
like
it, yeah.
if you can build a brand for your future as well, that you can have something there as another revenue stream as an influencer, what a success that is.
Mm-hmm.
And look, you've done Ellie's done sunglasses, obviously you're doing something, Charlene, and
Mm-hmm.
in Icon there's obviously been Kaylee with Cash and Aideen with True, so it's something that's been replicated very successfully in the Icon group.
Yeah.
And also then you see within the Icon creators how they support each other is unbelievable. Like the support you give to each other is absolutely brilliant, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think it's a really good group.
Yeah.
Everyone's quite like really hard working, and like even someone was saying to us, they're like, the Icon girls are always so, and Sean are so consistent with everything they do. Girls and Sean are
It's so
so
hard to
consistent.
change
And
that,
no, I
yeah.
know.
I know.
Yeah.
And then lastly, what advice would you give someone who wants to grow their following or be an influencer? Like, do you think it's something that everyone can do, or is it like a certain type of person?
Oh, we were only having this chat on the way up. So I suppose like when we started this, influencing was definitely different. And I suppose like even Ellie, like you came from a generation of like people that like started posting stuff and people really liked them. Whereas now, really liked it. But whereas now people are like, oh, I want to become an influencer, and you can nearly like do a college course or
Yeah.
you know
That's
that.
so
So
weird.
it's really
Like,
strange.
Like little
getting your
kids
head
are like, I
around
want to
it.
be a YouTuber.
Yeah.
It's like years ago. It was something you kind of accidentally fell into. Whereas now
Yeah.
it's something it's something that people purposely try and pursue.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't always suit the person. But
Exactly.
You can look straight through someone and see. Like I don't know if you ever have, but like I've seen people come and go throughout the
Yeah,
years who've really tried, and like you have to give it to them that they have tried, but sometimes
Maybe
it
they're in
just
it for the
doesn't
wrong.
suit-
Maybe they're in it for the wrong reason. of
sometimes
just-
you can just kind of tell
Yeah.
if it doesn't suit someone,
Yeah.
and like that's okay that it doesn't, kind of thing. There's obviously a different direction they were meant to go in, but
think
I
it's-
don't think
It's like, let's say, like sport, for
It's like
example.
everything, yeah.
It's not an
you know,
overnight
you-
success.
No,
People think it
yeah,
is,
yeah.
so,
You have a lot of people maybe in sport try to do professionally or something like that, and there's obviously talent you need, and that's maybe one thing in influencing that people don't actually appreciate sometimes, the talent that comes.
Or like
And
that wow factor.
that
And
wow
I think like
factor.
even Connor, sure, for the first time that you met Ellie.
Yeah, like I remember meeting Ellie for the very first
it was
time.
the pro team, wasn't
Exactly.
it?
So we had
My
created a
interview,
concept.
I was terrified.
So
An
yeah,
interview to get into the pro team.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
So we created a concept of the pro team, and people had to interview, and Ellie was one of the people who were shortlisted. And I remember Ellie had about 2,500 followers maybe at the time.
wow.
And
remember.
she came into the interview, and I remember after the interview, I just wrote down one word on the page, and the girl I was doing it with at the time, Holly, turned to me and said, "What do you think?" And I just go, "Wow."
I had no idea.
And
Did
it
you have
was-
to do it in makeup store? Or just
No, it was just a
No, just-
conversation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just blown away by Ellie, blown away. And the only two people I've ever done that in kind of this industry was Ellie and Kaylee, actually. Just at that time, I had wrote that for both of them.
Yeah.
And it was when you met Ellie, her energy is contagious. You know, like it's just unbelievable. So when you talk about a likability factor, like that's just something someone has or doesn't have.
Yeah.
You can't not, and I think that's something even online for Ellie, like, you know, people when they meet you in person are always blown away with just what a kind person you actually are. And I think when, but also the energy that comes from it. Like, and I remember that meeting just after the interview, just been like, oh my God, that girl is a star.
I definitely didn't curse that day anyway.
I see, but you did.
You're on your best behavior.
Yeah. So when you talk about what makes an influencer, there's people who just you meet and they're like they're a star.
Yeah.
And I remember just meeting Ellie and being like, she's a star, absolute star. And
And that's why we annoy her so much, because we know that she is a star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the potential and everything
lazy
is
star.
just insane.
Lazy star.
and then there's other people who you'll meet who will be the hardest working people you'll have.
Yeah.
And they'll match that with talent, but they might just not relate to an audience as well.
Yeah.
And so it takes a couple of factors, you know, it takes that bit of kind of like people have to relate to the audience. Maybe you have to be an expert in something, whether it's fashion, beauty, whatever your special is, and you build that trust with an audience. So if you had 0 followers today, you're posting because you're passionate about that. I'm getting ready today, you know, I'm going to talk through my looks or how I got ready, makeup, whatever the case may be. And people then all of a sudden say, oh, I can really relate to her. I love her energy or whatever the case. That's how it starts.
So it's genuine.
I think
like,
a personality really helps
Yeah.
online as well. Like, do you
Yeah.
think if you just went online and say if it was makeup or fashion or whatever it is, if you just always posted your makeup or your fashion but never had a personality behind it, do you think that
Yeah,
would
so I think
help?
the personality is
But some
good
people
to
don't
have
always
like
talk in their stories and stuff
Yeah, do you
at
think
all.
it's bad
Some
or is it
people, yeah.
good
no,
or-
no, like we definitely encourage, because
Yeah.
like you want people to buy into you. Like, so if
course.
you are showing your personality online, you're going to have people there for longer.
Yeah.
So like if you're just doing like makeup hacks or, you know, just creating content and not getting online, people aren't able to build that relationship with you. So
Yeah.
like, we definitely think that, yeah, personality you need to get.
I think
Much
it's
of
so
that.
important. And I think that's something that every influencer needs to know actually how valuable that is.
Yeah.
Their stories and stuff. Like the stories is a tool to connect with an audience, whether that's Q&As, question box, just general kind of conversations. I think
Yeah.
it's a huge opportunity. And like if you go back to early days of Instagram and influencing, there was no stories.
Yeah, that's mad, isn't it?
It was actually no,
No.
there
Oh
wasn't.
yeah, they were new. I remember when they
No.
first came
I
up.
don't remember that, do you?
No.
They first come up.
Well, do you know
like,
what you
and I
used to
remember
do
like,
before
what
that,
was
Ellie? You used to
Yeah.
go on Snapchat stories.
Snapchat,
God,
yeah.
I had
Snapchat's coming back.
Yeah.
It is coming back.
so
big
many
time.
followers on Snapchat. It was scary.
I
It
never
was
had
have that
a
account.
public
Yeah, I still have
Snapchat.
the, I should sign into it for the crack.
They're,
Ellie Kelly,
Snapchat's
MUA.
coming back.
Snapchat, Charleen is
Yeah,
right. Watch
yeah.
this space.
You can get paid and all from it. I
Yeah.
don't know if in Ireland yet they're slow at everything.
I
But
But-
should eat myself.
all the Americans are back on it.
I
yeah.
think even they are big time. I think like if you think about what you would have done at the time, you would have went on Snapchat, spoke all day, shared
I
literally
did
a load
makeup
of.
tutorials and all on Snapchat.
There you go, yeah.
Oh my god! I remember I followed Niamh Cullen on Snapchat actually.
Like what?
I loved watching her on
and,
that.
and then you would have had on Instagram just your photos and videos. So
Yeah.
that's how you built that connection with the audience. Just loved watching it.
Yeah.
And then when Instagram stories came about, it allowed you then to share it on that. And probably with, if you look at like TikTok, the trend of that at the moment is very much sharing kind of different types of trends and all that. But I think that's a space they can grow more in. Is
Yeah.
that story space and how they can kind of connect creators with their audience a little bit more as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I remember first seeing it and everyone was like, oh, Instagram's copying Snapchat and all.
Yes.
I remember that.
Everyone
yeah.
copies everyone.
Yeah, I know,
I think
yeah.
all the apps
remember-
copy
yeah,
each other.
yeah.
Of course.
Well, actually, Facebook originally had the whole concept of TikTok with creating short form videos. And one of the reasons why they didn't do it was actually for, believe it or not, was the impact it was having on people's mental health. So they actually went for long form videos.
Well, TikTok didn't care.
TikTok came along and did it. And now Facebook tried to bring out reels and stuff to, well, Meta, which would be
yeah.
Facebook and Instagram, to try to compete with TikTok.
Wow.
Yeah. So like Facebook actually could have done it, had the whole yoke built to do a time, but went away from it.
But didn't want to. And then I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah, end up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all kind of end up having the same
Yeah.
sort of ideas, but
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
in different ways,
different
don't
ways.
they?
Yeah.
It's not great for the attention span.
No.
Well, actually, attention span while you're on it, a goldfish attention span is 9 seconds, and a human's is 8 seconds at the moment.
I always
And our
thought
loves
goldfish
that
was
stuff.
Where's your fact of the day?
Yeah.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah,
I'd well believe that.
because people are.
If I'm
spending-
not in, like, if I don't want to watch a video after 2 seconds, I'll like, I'll know already if I want to watch it. or
You'll
not,
know
like,
straight
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
People
like it or
spend
not.
about 4.5 hours a day on social media. That's average. Now I know you girls spend a lot more.
That's a
But if
pretty
everyone
good
goes
day.
and checks their screen time right now and see how you compare, but on average,
Wow.
4.5 hours. And when you think about that, if an average person is meant to either be in school, college, work of 8 hours, but another 4.5 hours on top of that.
Social media.
Yeah, so you can
Crazy.
see how it all adds up.
God.
And why you've no attention span.
Yeah. Well, there's other reasons for that.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. God.
Caroline, that's it?
Anything else to
Anything else you want to ask?
Anything else missed?
One thing that
Yes.
gets asked all the time
Oh.
about rates and like
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Point.
I actually
Yeah.
wrote.
would love to know.
I
It was
actually
in-
wrote that
yeah, yeah.
down last week when we mentioned about have an icon on.
Mm.
I was like, I want to get really nosy.
Yeah.
Money.
Everyone always wants
Money,
to know the
money.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that word, money.
So we'll give a little bit of
Rates and
background
stuff like how,
on it.
because people, and I'm always interested in the fact that some influencers, when they manage themselves, I'm like,
Yeah.
how do you make up your rates? I wouldn't have a donkey's notion where to begin.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, 50 quid. How do I like?
And you've done that.
Yeah, I have. I wouldn't have it. How is it pulled out of thin air?
No,
Is it-
no. So
what is
we use an API platform, right? So basically plugs into like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and we can see like engagement, kind of all the general stats from an influencer. And it
Very
basically-
detailed.
Yeah, it
Right.
gives like a media value on like where your stories are at or where
Nobody
your
can get
reels
this,
and
can
stuff.
they? Like,
No, like we pay for this.
Yeah,
So basically, what that means is if a business was to do like paid adverts, so if they were to put money into paid ads on Instagram, they would need to spend this money to get the exact sort of reach and engagement that you guys are going to get.
oh,
So that gives you a base, kind
Yeah.
of like, as in, like,
Right.
it doesn't mean that that's what you should be priced at,
Yeah.
but it gives you like, well, that's kind of a value for reach.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so reaching the same audience.
Okay.
And then
So there's so much in it. Like obviously we'll see them rates, but we'll think, okay, like what is the brand looking for? So like a big thing that you need to think about is that we want like longevity working with brands. So we don't want to overcharge on a piece of content and then you're never going to see the brand ever again.
Yeah.
So we always try and make it like really competitive, that we know that they're going to get a good reaction or whatever they're looking for, conversion, reach, whatever, that they're going to come back to us and want several more pieces of content from you guys. So it's always really important finding out what the brand is actually looking for. Is this like conversion campaign? Is it awareness? Is what is it? Is it reach?
yeah,
Whatever.
okay, yeah.
And then trying to work out, okay, well, like if this is a first time collaboration, maybe it might be a thing where you're not going to charge like your full rates. Maybe you want to give an introduction so we can allow ourselves to prove ourselves to the brand. And then from there we can say like, you know, obviously this is an introduction rate so you can actually see the value of the guys. But if you're to book in more piece of content, then like we're going up to our regular rates. I think a really good way of looking at it as well is like Charleen, for example, you on LTK, you do so many links. It really allows brands to see how much you're actually already creating for them, like on an organic point of view.
It's even
So-
interesting for me to see like when something sells really well. I'm like, oh, I wouldn't have thought that
Yeah.
did. And like kind
yeah.
of what you want to put up then after that as well.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
things kind of shock you on it that you'd share and be like,
Yeah, sometimes.
What?
Yeah. I always put like the link AF, but my Emma texts me,
Oh,
she's
yeah,
like,
she-
link as fuck.
Yeah. She says every time she sees, she can't unsee.
Yeah. Jeans link as fuck.
I think though with the pricing, it's very important that success of pricing an influencer is not that, we got a great price for this one campaign.
Yeah.
The success is pricing actually, do you know what, we've a really competitive price that the brand feels that that's really good value, and the influencer feels it's really good value to them, that they both want to work together continuously. And too many people, when they price themselves or other management maybe don't price correctly, they overprice them and they'll get away with it once. But that's the job done.
Not gonna keep
They
doing
won't come
it.
back.
Yeah.
Because then they were good, but for what we paid, it just wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's getting that fine line of the pricing right, and it's definitely something that's always evolving, the pricing based on stats and value, based on reach on different platforms and all that. And as Sarah said, where you're going to maybe. Now we've kind of noticed, obviously, brands want to work with a piece of content on TikTok, Instagram stories. So it might be minimum nearly 3 pieces of content for one brand starting, like, you know.
Yeah.
I think a really important thing for anyone listening who does influencing is like the usage side of it.
Yeah.
So like,
Oh, yeah.
you know, a lot of people will create content, and some brands might like use it all year round in organic and in paid and everything like that. But the reason that they're doing it is because you guys are like recognized faces, so they're going to get better reaction from like their paid side of things. If straight away they're getting hit with an influencer that's so recognized.
I
in
still
Ireland or
see
whatever.
sometimes, you ever click into your tag things? Sometimes if I click into my tag photos on Instagram, there's brands sharing stuff from me from
years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Yeah.
even look like me anymore.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like,
Is that me?
I'm like,
We've seen a
what?
couple of that piece of content.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I remember seeing it. I remember seeing it in public before and having to go in and taking pictures down that a brand was using.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Remember,
something
yeah,
you need to
taking
be
them down,
really
being like,
careful
"What? How
with.
are you still milking this
Yeah.
many years?"
Because I know people will stop being like, oh, I know her.
Yeah,
know
yeah.
their face. Yeah.
But like, if you think on the feed,
Mad.
so obviously from the social media elite, we manage ads for brands. So if we have an influencer in an ad and we set the ad up to try to get as many video views as possible in front of a certain audience, a video might cost, let's say, what we would say 5 cents for a 15-second view. So for someone to stop in the feed and watch it for 15 seconds, it'll cost 5 cents, right?
Okay.
But if there's an influencer in that video, it might cost 1 cent or cheaper. So all of a sudden, the influencer means that a lot more people will stop quicker in the newsfeed. So it'll be a lot cheaper for a brand to put an influencer in their content than to just
Then
put
like an actor.
Oh,
than
yeah.
just
know
someone from the
that.
store or whatever.
Oh,
else.
I thought it would have been
Wow, I thought
dearer.
it would be the opposite. Yeah.
No, because you're recognised
No,
in the
because
feed.
you're not going to get the results that you want from using just a random
random
person.
person.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
in the long run,
Wow.
it'll probably work out more beneficial for the
Yeah.
brand.
And they're having a recognised face as well.
Absolutely,
That-
building credibility.
Double,
and
yeah.
Is
trust.
that why you're
Yeah.
starting to even see like some television ads that I'd see, and I don't watch television much at all, but some like makeup brands and stuff, you'll see like a TikTok person on the
Yeah.
telly in the ads.
Yeah.
Is that
Absolutely.
because it's a face that's
Endorsement,
recognised?
yeah.
Absolutely.
Trying to bring it all from different channels, so it's like cohesive and stuff. So yeah, you're recognizing them from
Because
TikTok.
if you were looking at an ad and you don't know someone, and you're like, oh, whatever. But if you see someone, like, oh, what are they in? What's this about?
Yeah.
You know. And also then, when this ad comes up in your newsfeed, half the time you don't know it's an ad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That's what makes a good ad.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't
when you
actually-
don't know it's
when you don't know
Yeah.
it's an ad.
Did you see the girl from Chicken Shop Dates? She done Olay.
Amelia,
or
yeah.
Olay, is it?
Amelia,
Yeah,
yeah.
skincare. I thought that was so good.
stuff like
I
that.
was like, I wouldn't even usually watch them ads, but I was like,
Because it's her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Makes sense now. God, the penny finally dropped after all these years.
But that's a good way of thinking about it, because I think that a lot of people think the rates are too dear for influencers, but it makes sense because you're getting the same as you would from an ad of that
Yeah.
of that reach.
Yeah.
So think about it like that.
exactly
It's-
it,
yeah.
yeah.
But people think, oh, why are they getting paid that for that? But
But-
it's your audience you're getting paid for
The
kind of.
other thing to know as well is that influencer budgets are growing month on month, year on year.
Yeah.
And by that I mean is brands are releasing more and more money towards the influencer space. And it's not just because they have more money, it's because it's working.
It works.
It
Yeah.
works. It's
Do
a
you think
fact.
they're seeing more benefit from an influencer doing something than like an ad on telly or like a newspaper?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Sarah will tell you, like every month these budgets are growing, and even in areas where other budgets maybe have been cut, influencer budgets has increased significantly.
Because
Even
they
if
know the importance.
they know the importance.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and it's something that we only see as continued growth
Yeah.
happening in. So it's a very exciting period.
Wow.
Yay. That's exciting.
Yeah. Connor and Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you
was
so
great
much.
fun.
And Karen.
Hey, Karen.
Karen wants to say hello.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Karen. Aforementioned Karen.
She got it in there.
Yeah.
Because we'd mentioned Karen a lot. Like we just be saying Karen.
We do
so
say it in the
we
podcast
do.
as well, yeah.
Do they say?
They were like, say hello.
Well, no.
I was going to say the
put a
elusive
face-
Karen, but I feel like you're not elusive at all.
Yeah.
No. There's a face to her.
I think you got
You
elusive
amazing,
Sarah. This is
Karen.
the first time Sarah's even shown herself kind of like
Yeah,
into
I've
your
never
public because
done
she
anything
keeps
like
so
this
low key.
before.
Yeah.
Just like it's just not me.
Sarah
Like,
pushes me into it all.
Yeah.
Connor do that, yeah.
But me and Connor were only saying there, like I don't do any sort of interviews at all, but like a couple of different articles in the last while have been like wrote about us, and I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
But like Icon's been 4 years,
Yeah.
going, but I don't know. It's just like I don't like get satisfaction from that sort of stuff. I don't like pushing myself forward. I'm like quite happy to sit in the background and like enjoy it, kind of
Yeah.
from that point of view. But yeah,
Just make Connor do it
First
all.
time.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works well. We balance each
Yeah,
other out.
yeah.
we definitely do. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much,
having us,
guys.
guys.
Thanks so
No,
much.
Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Secrets and Stalls this week is very short because we had quite a long episode this week, but you can always find more in our bonus episode. There every Monday, and there wherever you get your podcasts. This dilemma has come in through our email address, so it's homeidrink@goloudnow.com, and you can send in whatever your dilemma is through there. So, me and my boyfriend have been together for nearly 3 years. A couple of months ago, I got a text from a girl he's friends with saying that he's been cheating on me with her. So I confronted him, and he admitted to sleeping with her once when he was drunk. He told me he was going to tell me himself, but he didn't know whether to believe that. I don't know whether to believe that, as he had every opportunity to tell me. She started blackmailing him to leave me or she'll expose him. He stayed at me and decided to give him another chance. I was still so hurt and upset, so I went on Tinder and chatted to a few lads casually, and I was also texting my ex, although nothing happened. He found out, we argued, but we managed to move past it. A couple of weeks later, I stayed with him for 3 weeks at Christmas with him and his family, because we're also in a long distance relationship. And I noticed he's been very suspicious with his phone, as he doesn't leave his sight. The night before I left, I looked at his phone and saw he was still talking to her. There were phone calls and video calls from him and her while I was staying at his house. I gave him an ultimatum that it was me or her. He said he would stop talking to her, and there was no apology or sympathy, and continuing as it never happened. What should I do?
The more you keep letting him away with it, the more he's going to keep doing it.
That trust is broken, I think,
Yeah.
from you.
Yeah, that's going to be very hard to come back from.
Like, I think you writing in is like you already know. We always
Yeah.
say, sometimes people already know.
You know what to do. You just need somebody else
you
to
need
say
us,
it to you.
You need us to be like, girl.
Yeah. Like he's yeah.
Doesn't even feel bad about still video calling her and stuff.
Sometimes people just don't. They just have no empathy towards
No.
the person that they're hurting. Like,
It's
because
just
they don't see it as hurting them. They just see it as their right to do what they want to do. Like,
because it's their life or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
so I think you keep the ball in your court, and you're obviously going to decide to do what you want to do. I think run for the hills, but also try not to focus on the fact that if you do end up leaving him, he probably will still talk to her. Like, that just needs to be a hard truth to come to terms with as well.
Follow, yeah.
That he probably is. If he's doing it now while he's with you,
Mm-hmm.
why isn't he going to do it then when you're not with
When
him?
you're
Do you
not.
know what I mean?
But also, he'd probably do it on her then with someone else.
Ah, yeah,
as
of
well.
course he will. If he does it
So-
to one person, they'll do it to the next whoever.
I think it's hard because you're together 3 years. Like, you're obviously hanging on to it for a reason. You obviously love him, but like, love, when trust is gone, does love really matter that much anymore? Like,
If there's trust, there's
trust is
nothing.
gone. That's like your whole relationship.
Yeah.
Like, that takes up so much of your mental capacity, having to worry about someone. There's someone out
Constantly
there.
worry.
There's someone out there for you who you won't have to worry about. Imagine that.
No, yeah.
Imagine, and that's such a mad concept for people who are in that situation where they have to worry. There is someone out there that you won't.
They can't
worry about.
imagine that there's someone out there who you can't.
No, because
Yeah.
you're in that bad situation. But I think someone like that, no one who cares about you would do that to you.
If someone
And
cares
that's
about
the
you, they're
truth.
not going to
That's the truth.
purposely hurt you. Like,
No. And do that behind your back when you're literally living with them.
God.
When you're there, and then you're in long distance. So when you're not there, what's happening then?
Yeah, true.
If it's literally happening when you're living with them, like, that's a joke. So I think you just don't even give him an ultimatum. Just
Yeah, I wouldn't give
go.
you gave him an ultimatum once, and he's just gone back on his
Yeah.
word. So
don't
don't
let
think giving
don't let
him-
him hurt you again.
Oh, yeah.
You take that away from him. Take that power back to yourself.
don't give him the opportunity to decide when he wants to
Yeah.
hurt you. Like, I think you need to put yourself first and
Yeah.
say, scrap this. I'm out.
I'm done. Yeah. You can send your dilemmas to homeidrink@goloudnow.com. And again, we have bonus episodes every Monday called Home I Drink Extra Juice. So listen back to that that after this episode. And there's a new one every Monday. And yeah, a little bonus. Save or skip is when we take a topic based on the week's episode. And because the podcast is called How My Drink, we're holding our drinks. We actually are holding our drinks.
I can't a Red Bull over there that I can't get, but I'll pretend.
If we sip, it means we agree. If we skip, it means we disagree. And today we were talking about Snapchat making a comeback with Icon.
I can't believe that.
Are
You
you
said a lot of
sipping or
American
skipping?
people and stuff are
A lot of them are, because there's now like you can get paid for using it. They're all now all of a sudden I was like, why are they all advertising their Snapchats again? What story is that? And then I see it on TikTok. Yeah.
I think it's bad. Add my Snapchat. What? Like?
I think I'd feel really like casual in a good way on that.
Oh, I had it for years.
Yeah.
I think that's how I started. Like
Instagram
Instagram,
nearly,
yeah, was through Snapchat, and I had a makeup Snapchat account. But like people still text me to this day, being like, "I followed you on Snapchat years ago," and I'd take them through a day by day, like through every minute of my day.
What
Yeah,
you do. Near like a private story. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
literally what I used as a private story to thousands of people who I didn't know. Like,
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
time, and people still message me being like, "Oh, I remember you in your dressing gown making your eggs and all
Yeah,
every morning,"
yeah.
and I'd still say it. And it was it felt like it was a really
Personal
one-to-one kind of thing.
Yeah. Think you do it again?
I don't know. I don't have Snapchat now. I deleted it, so I don't know.
You're not back into that one. Is that not a different one, or was it the same one you had?
No, it's a different one. I think I probably still could sign into it.
Yeah.
Again. I don't know.
Go back on it.
I don't know.
What do you know? It's a lot to think about.
Hi,
It's like
birds.
another platform to worry about.
To try and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd say either sip or skip. See what happens, kind of thing. But I just for now, I don't know.
I don't know.
I love seeing our friends use it as private stories.
Yeah.
That's all I had it for, was to watch all the girls' private stories.
Yeah. True. That's literally the only reason I re-downloaded it. I didn't have it for ages. Yeah.
Like 20 people on it, and like
Yeah.
I would never text anyone.
No,
about
if I
that,
put
like-
up a story, people are like, is she okay?
Yeah.
Is she okay?
That's all I did, was just to watch stuff on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'm going to sip because I think it's interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm saying neither for now, but I don't know.
That was this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, birds.
You can go back and listen to our bonus episode from Monday, How Much Drink Extra Juice. Make sure to listen back and like, rate, and
I held my breath
subscribe.
for hours.
Why? For no apparent reason.
I don't know what happened there. I was like, why are you doing this? Sorry about that, Cher.
Don't forget to like, rate, and subscribe to the podcast. And I hope you enjoyed this episode with Icon. I know we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I found out shit I
We
didn't
learned
even
a
know.
lot of things.
Like, what?
Yeah, we really did.
If you're on Spotify, can you give us a 5 out of 5, please?
Please.
Star
Our
rating.
egos are hurt.
Yeah, are you guys are really hurt? What was it, 4.9
yeah.
or something when you checked it last?
4.8. Oh,
We love a 5-star
we love a 5.
for the crack.
We love you so much. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next week.
We love you loads.
Love you.
Bye.
Subscribe to this podcast for free on the GoLoud app.
At Highland, we're all about celebrating little wins and little ways to innovate digital processes. There's no customer pain point too small for us to help with. Maybe that's why more than half of the Fortune 100 looks to Highland to connect their content and data, improve processes, and turn little efficiencies into big wins for their customers and clients. Highland, intelligent content solutions for innovators everywhere at highland.com.